Last Man in London is written and read by Albert Jack. Historically, all empires created by man have risen and fallen during a period of around 500 years. The Romans, the Greeks, Egyptians, the Moors and the Ottomans all in their turn reigned supreme until apathy, arrogance and frankly laziness led to their downfall. However, mankind would never become extinct, as new societies inevitably replace existing social structures, sooner or later. By AD 2022, the great and so-called and 450-year-old democratic Western Empire, which began with the Age of Discovery during the 15th century, was tired, corrupt, and had run out of ways of oppressing, cheating, and taxing the societies it was supposed to represent democratically. The inhabitants of the Western world, both weary and frightened of war with the East, were turning against their elected leaders, having finally realized the great lie, the vote. If voting changed anything, then they wouldn't have been allowed to do it. Instead, every 4 or 5 years, they elected a new autocracy, closely linked to their predecessor, who governed with impunity. In fact, democracy had started to fail as soon as elected representatives began taking away from those who were willing to work and giving to those who were not. The well-intentioned welfare state had triggered the beginning of the end of hundreds of years of democracy within 2 short generations of its inception. In 1956, at the end of the Second Great World War, a collective of the wealthiest and most powerful business leaders throughout the West met in secret for the first time in a French hotel, and slowly they drew their plans. Their vision for the future abolished both countries and religion. There would be no more elections and no future wars. Instead, each new state would be run as an industry by an appointed board of the finest business minds of their respective generations. The Bilderberg Group, as they were informally known, with the support of the Circle, a highly secretive group of foreign policy advisors who specialized in international security, would form a central board of governors. The United States of America and the European Union would be broken up, decentralized, and eventually wiped from history. The old democratic West would effectively become incorporated, a business. The lessons of the fall of the Roman Empire, arguably history's finest civilization, that had finally succumbed to the barbaric Germanic Vandals who themselves had been ruled by Rome for centuries, were not lost on the Bilderberg Group. If mighty Rome could crumble and fall in the 6th century to an enemy from within, then so could all Western societies in the 21st century be crippled and ruined by a dangerous hostility that had been festering for generations inside their own schools, streets, towns, cities and places of worship. For years, elected governments had actually encouraged other foreign cultures to live among their own people. The larger they became in number, the deeper their resentment grew, and the more committed they became to destroying what they regarded as the foreign empire governing them. Just as the Vandals had successfully turned on Rome 15 centuries earlier and destroyed it. By 2020, the opportunity for revolution had become apparent. Not in the traditional fashion of the lower orders rebelling against their wealthy or religious masters, but by the wealthy and powerful business leaders, the bankers, the media and technical tycoons of all nationalities. The Bilderberg Group would form an unstoppable Western conglomerate. Russian steel barons and American internet tycoons would sit together on the board of the new Western corporation and trade with willing partners from the East, India, China. And they made plans to destroy their competitors and those who still held religious beliefs that would be banned. Those ideals were removed from world history forever. Because in 2001, the religious conflicts that began with the Crusades 1,000 years earlier became a terrifying modern reality with the Islamic attack on New York, the financial capital of America, and the Bilderbergers immediately saw their opportunity.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?